Umbara, a village nestled in the heart of a dense, ancient forest, was a place of deep traditions and enduring peace, surrounded by towering trees that seemed to whisper forgotten secrets. The village was protected by the natural barrier of the forest and the deep, flowing Umbara River. The village itself was a tapestry of clay huts with thatched roofs, arranged in a circle around a large open space that served as the communal meeting ground. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers, and the villagers lived in harmony with nature, cultivating their crops and raising their livestock. Birds sang melodies from the treetops, and the laughter of children echoed through the streets, bringing a sense of warmth and contentment to all who lived there. Umbara was not just a village. It was a place where the spirits of the ancestors walked alongside the living, where every tree, river, and stone had a story to tell. The people of Umbara were known for their deep respect for the land and for their strong sense of community. They lived by the values of honor, bravery, and loyalty, and these virtues were embodied by two brothers who had become the pride of the village. Umbara, whose name meant goodness of the land, was the elder of the two. He was a tall, broad-shouldered man with a calm demeanor that belied the fierce warrior spirit within him. His presence alone was enough to instill confidence in the villagers, for they knew that as long as Umbara was there, their land would remain safe and prosperous. His younger brother, Aikigu, meaning strength of the lion, was equally formidable. Unlike Umbara's calm nature, Aikigu was known for his fiery spirit and relentless determination. He was quick to act, never hesitating to protect those he loved. The two brothers complemented each other perfectly. Umbara's wisdom and Aikigu's strength made them an unbeatable force on the battlefield. The brothers had long been revered as the village's greatest warriors. They had fought many battles, each time returning victorious and bringing honor to their people. The villagers saw them not just as warriors, but as the very embodiment of the village's spirit, unyielding, brave, and fiercely protective. For days, the villagers waited anxiously for news of their warriors. The nights were filled with the prayers of mothers, wives, and children, hoping for the safe return of their loved ones. The village felt eerily quiet, the usual bustle of daily life stilled by the tension in the air. Then, one fateful morning, as the first light of dawn broke through the trees, the sound of drums echoed through the village. The villagers rushed out of their huts, hearts pounding in their chests, and there, emerging from the forest, were Umbara and Aikigu. The two brothers walked with the strength of 1,000 men, their heads held high despite the weariness that clung to them. Behind them, there were no other warriors. The rest had fallen in battle. The sight of the brothers alone returning from war brought both relief and sorrow to the villagers. While they rejoiced at the return of their heroes, the loss of so many brave men cast a shadow over their celebration. Yet, the courage and strength of Umbara and Aikigu inspired hope in the hearts of the people, reminding them that Umbara would endure, no matter the cost. The king of Umbara, a wise and just ruler, was filled with pride when he heard of the brothers' return. He immediately summoned his village crier, a man with a booming voice that could be heard across the entire village. The crier was instructed to announce to all the villagers that there would be a grand feast in the evening at the palace to celebrate the return of the brave warriors. The village crier, adorned in traditional attire, with a leather drum slung over his shoulder, began his journey through the village. He moved from one end to the other, stopping at every gathering of people, his voice ringing out,
"People of Umbara, hear ye, hear ye. Our brave warriors, Umbara and Aikigu, have returned from battle. The king has decreed that there shall be a great feast this evening at the palace to honor their bravery. All are invited to come and celebrate the strength and courage of our noble sons. Let us come together as one, to praise the gods for their safe return and to remember those who have fallen."
The villagers, upon hearing the announcement, erupted into joyful cheers. Despite the grief that still lingered from the loss of their loved ones, they knew that this was a time to celebrate the resilience of their people. Women began to prepare the finest dishes, gathering yams, fish, and vegetables, While the men prepared the palm wine that would flow freely during the feast, children ran excitedly through the streets, their laughter mingling with the sound of the crier's drum. As the sun began its descent, casting a golden glow over the village, the people of Umbara made their way to the palace. The palace, a grand structure made of red clay and wood, stood at the highest point of the village, overlooking the entire settlement. It was adorned with intricate carvings that told the stories of the gods and the ancestors who had watched over Umbra for generations. Inside the palace, the king and his chiefs gathered, waiting for the arrival of the two brothers. When Umbara and Ikigu finally entered, the room fell silent. The king, dressed in regal robes, stood up, his eyes filled with admiration for the man before him.
Praise be to the gods.
The king exclaimed, his voice filled with emotion.
Umbara has been blessed with warriors of unmatched valor. Obiora and Ikiagu, you have not only protected our village, but have also brought honor to your families and to the spirits of our ancestors. Tonight, we feast in your honor.
The chiefs, who sat beside the king, echoed his sentiments, each taking turns to shower the brothers with praises. They spoke of the brothers' bravery, their unwavering loyalty to their people, and the sacrifices they had made to ensure the safety of Umbra. The brothers humbly accepted the accolades, their hearts filled with a mixture of pride and sorrow for the comrades they had lost. As the night deepened, the palace was filled with the sounds of drums, flutes, and the songs of the villagers. The feast was a grand affair, with food and drink aplenty. The villagers danced and sang, celebrating not just the return of their warriors but also the strength and unity of their people. But even as the celebration continued, there was a sense of unease that lingered in the air. The shadows seemed to stretch longer, and the flames of the torches flickered as if disturbed by an unseen presence. The people of Umbra were unaware that this was only the beginning of a much darker chapter in their history, a chapter that would test the very foundations of their peaceful existence. The shadows had begun to stir in Umbra, and soon the village would face a threat unlike any it had ever known.